Okay, phone still dying, so I plugged it in the wall. Um, yeah, so I I was like I needed to go to the I need to get out of the house. I need to get out of the house. Can I go to Six Flags with you? And she said, well, and got very, you know, very fidgety and like, what's wrong with that? And she said, well, Joey and James will be there. And James was the person, was a friend of mine, mutual friend, and introduced them. And so she knew I was sensitive about seeing him as well, principally because it's not what friends do. They don't get someone to see your girl. And I lost it, and well, I didn't even lose it. I said, I thought you told me you weren't going to talk to me anymore. She says, no, I'm not talking. I'm just going to Six Flags with them. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and she's like, oh, I thought you meant like seeing, like talking to him. Like, we're not sexting or anything. We're just friends. And I'm like, you lied to me. Am I crazy? This is the beginning of the gaslighting, and I'm starting like, am I crazy? Like at this point, I'm just like, why am I being hurt so bad? Why can't I just get? I just need help. Like, can you take care of me? Can you not abuse me? I need you. I need you. And and I didn't say that, but I needed her, and she should know I'm not doing well. I no comfort, and I said, am I crazy? You told me after we like had that breakthrough in intimacy and it felt like a new beginning. It felt hope. It felt like we saw each other. It's again, I'm like, this is gonna be a new beginning. Lost a kid, we're gonna be grown ups. I'm losing it. She, we had intimacy and she promised me she wouldn't talk to him. And I said, am I crazy? She says, I like, you told me that, right? And she says, yeah, only because I was afraid of what you would say if I didn't say no. She said she was scared of what I would say or what would happen if I didn't. She's like, I was afraid to tell you no. So it's my fault that she lied to me. And I'm just like, I'm just like, I can't handle this. You have to leave. I can't do this anymore. And and she wouldn't, and I called the cops, and then they said we can't do anything, and I'm just like, I can't be around you. You keep hurting me, and let me back up. Before this even happened, I had tried to convince her to. Oh no, I guess that's the right time frame. Um, no, yeah, before that, done the music video, showed it to her, and we had like a tear a little, and I thought that was me saying I love you, and because I can't express my needs, I made a music video for 2 months, and I thought that was showing love. I thought she kept stringing me along even after all this, and uh, she was supposed to move out October 1st, and I I wanted her to stay until November 1st. I'm like, I can't handle this much change. We had a show to go to. Our favorite artist was playing in the middle of October. I'm like, I would like you to be here. We can have our friends from Chicago show up, and it'll be nice. And uh, she says something really hurtful to me about a mutual friend of ours. Like, can't believe that I left her at the hospital. And I'm like, I have done everything I can possibly do. I have nothing left to give. I did not leave you. I came back. I had to eat. you're cheating on me. Why don't you, like, I'm a bad guy. I'm doing every single thing I can. I am burnt to the core. I have nothing. And for her to say that somebody I care about's opinion about me was he couldn't believe that I did that, and not understanding at all my mental state, and how all I've been doing is giving. And I said, how dare you? And I've been on the phone. I went through the whole list of going through the lawyers. I lost my job. I'm losing my mind. And I said the lawyers, and I punched through my bedroom door, and just bleeding on my hand. And I'm just like, I can't do this. And I realized she got what she wanted. She was reactive abuse. She wanted to get a rise out of me. Even after all of this, after I've done everything for her, she can't be the perpetrator. She has to be the victim. And she found a way to manipulate somehow being the victim through seeing somebody else, through all this stuff. No, none of it's her fault. And I have to just endure and keep being this, just all my energy being sucked out of me. And I have nothing left to give, and I keep giving. And I think it was a couple days after that. Like, I don't know. She lied about the Joey thing. I can't remember what happened first: punching the door, or the seeing this guy in a theme park, and that was my one social situation. I had not seen anyone since July. This is September. I haven't left the house. Just isolated. So basically isolated for the entire year so far. Inside every day or in a warehouse. And I just needed to be around people. I realized now it was by design. I never got to see anyone. I never got to say anything to anyone, and I didn't say anything to my parents. I don't talk to my parents. I don't say anything to. I don't know why. I just felt like, I don't know. I didn't feel like I don't know. It didn't occur to me to talk to anyone. I had nothing. I needed her help. I needed someone's help. I couldn't ask for any help. And until that, my first time saying I need to go. I need to get out of the house. And sure enough, it's not just that simple. She's hanging out with these people and they continue to hurt me. And I called the cops, and they said we can't do anything. And I said, here's the deal. Like, I can't take any more abuse. I need you to leave. You have somewhere you can go. I don't have anywhere to go. I have to get a hotel and spend thousands of dollars, or you can do it for free. I'll give you money. Just please leave me alone. And it was only a week until she had to move out, and she refused to leave, and I just was forced to. I had nowhere to go, and I called my stepdad and my mom, who I ended up leaving the house, and they were in town for one more day, and I met them at their hotel, and I told them everything. It was the first time I told anybody, and my mom couldn't have cared less, and my stepdad cared, but even during breakfast, we had dinner, and all my mom did was talk about how she's going to Hawaii, and it was after all I said was, I need a break. I need a break. And she's bragging about going to Hawaii and having no concern about maybe inviting me. So my stepdad, it was so awkward that he said, you want to come? To my mom's dismay, she goes, oh, you don't want to go. It's gonna be far. It's like it's a lot of money, and it's you can't afford it, and there's barely nowhere to stay, and I couldn't. I was so taken aback. I just couldn't help but say, like, I couldn't help but defend myself. Like, or if you just don't want me to go, it's fine. Like, didn't want to outright say it, but she did not want me to go after all this, like couldn't care less. And after they left, I had I I kept on the phone. I'm like, I can't be in this house, and I basically got a plane ticket, and I came visited them for a week, and just went running every day, and just tried to I get my shit back together. Finally, just needed a break, and had that week to kind of take a break. Although my mom's a complete narcissist and impossible, so it wasn't really that much of a break. And but at least I was away from Bethany, and I come back, and she's super nice to me, and I don't take the bait. I know what's going on now. It's just abuse, just abusing me and using me and hurting me. And all I needed was love and affection and help, and got none of it. Got gaslit, got lied to, got and I honestly think we honestly probably had sex. I think we filmed a porn. Nothing makes any sense. And then like the next day she left. And the day she left, she broke up with that guy and texted me about it. She's trying to reel me back in. I forgot about that. That's so sick. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. That we went to a show a few days after that. And I'm working on myself. I know I'm just like trying to like the show to me is the Crossroads. It's October 7th. It's a show I've been looking forward to forever, and I'm like it's gonna be so much fun. It all went horribly wrong. She didn't show up on time. She was not the right. She couldn't come up to the front of the line with me, and just like I'm never talking again. Just being so rude to me and segregating the other friends. I'm just all alone. I end up befriending these people in line. They're just like she is something else. So and after the show, the headliner went on and they all left, and everyone in there said like she got what you wanted out of you. Like I paid for VIP tickets for our friends from Chicago, and they just left. They just left me there, and that was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of my solitude part, ultimate solitude. Um, and after that, I was just all alone in my house, and yeah, she took her dog and she was gone, and I just had nothing, and um, yeah, and I felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to, and I yeah, then I was just gonna I couldn't handle it, and I was having panic attacks, and I was pulling facial hair in my face, and I was just completely snapped, and I, I was gonna hang myself, and before I did, I called my mom, and I had talked to her for 2 years, and I said I can't live anymore. I'm gonna like it's obviously a cry for help. I mean, I had like the noose and shit, and I was just like I need help. I just wanted her to say, oh my God, I'm coming over now. No, she said, oh, I heard Chandler just did that. It goes to show like even celebrities and famous people can't keep it together. And I thought that was like a weird coping thing at the time. It immediately reminded me of the same feeling I've had my entire life, which is like sink or swim, you know, almost reverse psychology, no empathy, go fuck yourself, don't be weak, like I don't care. And it was always a motivator for me. And it was that same feeling, which is like, oh fuck you. I'm not gonna give you the satisfaction of ending my own life. You don't get to be the martyr at my funeral. And then I called the suicide hotline after calling my dad and panicking, and he was just like, "That's life," and called me back and apologized. And they're children. They cannot be there for me. And I called the suicide line, and then yeah, we drove to the ambulance, and I got committed to the psych ward for 5 days. While I was in there, my mom calls me. There's just a landline there. My mom calls me from Hawaii, just talking about herself, and I'm in a psych ward, and they gave me antidepressants that day, and it gave me that serotonin made me not hate myself as much. I like the Lexapro kicked in. They gave me Adderall, and I was still gave me Adderall in there. And if I didn't have that safety net, that little bit of keeping the bottom from falling out, if you take antidepressants, like it keeps you from that suicidal, absolutely hopelessness, and just keeps the highs from being as high, but the lows. If I didn't have that bottom from those antidepressants keeping me from going to that point, there was pencils next to me, and after my mom was talking about herself like that, I was gonna stab my neck. I could not handle that. I felt that was the end of my life. If I didn't have those, I remember thinking that I'm like, I have nothing. No one cares about my own mother is bragging about Hawaii. Just this close so many times. And that turned out to be the break I needed. I befriended, these people in there, and I was given love. People were actually listening to me and asking me stuff, and it was the first time I was actually able to talk about anything with anyone that actually listened. And from all the people that I told this would happen to, no one saying sorry, I'm sorry for your loss, including my own mother. No, my own family just talked about themselves. When I bring up, you could have had a grandkid, and I forgot to mention, when I was trying to get unemployment for like 3 attempts, I talked myself out of it. They asked me, "Are you able to work on the thing?" And I said no, thinking like I'm fucked up, and I just wanted someone to say I'm sorry, and I kept telling the story to people what happened, and I just wanted someone to be like, "I'm so sorry." No one ever said I'm sorry, and I talked my way out of $8,000 of unemployment, and I appealed it twice, and just never. I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't express myself. I was gone, and I'm unemployment. I'm doing all this, and she couldn't care less. I was just doing her own thing, and I just needed help. And so I get out of the psych ward, and I'm on Lexapro and Adderall, and I'm doing okay for a while. I get a gym membership. I'm like, gonna get my life back together. Okay, here we go. I got the antidepressants. This will help, and help for like a week. But I kind of felt like numbness, like I was a sociopath, and I had so much unresolved stuff still. And I'm going to the gym, but I'm just like, I have no friends. I have no job. I'm just going to the gym mindlessly, and I'm just trying to get my stuff back together. And I'm starting to get these extremely bad headaches, and I am in so much pain, and I'm all alone. And I just called my exes, and I called anyone that could answer. I'm like, I need help. I need help. I just was texting everyone, "Can you please come over?" And Jen came over, and Bethany came over, and I'm throwing up in the toilet, and I'm just crying at the same time. Like, again, thinking Bethany, like, it's like I realized that I need her in my mind. I'm like, even the pain that I was in with her being around was not as bad as this loneliness and this isolation, and I'm sick and I'm all alone, and I'm in such pain with these Lexapro, these fucking insane headaches, and I had taken, because I had a headache, I had taken oxycodone or something like that, and I wasn't getting, the headache was not alleviating it, or it was not being alleviated. So I Googled just see if there was a bad interaction, and yeah, it's like you can get serotonin syndrome. So I was freaking out about that, and I was a little bit out of it. And then Bethany took me to the ER, and it's just a big mess. My sister was over to take care. I had a dog at the time who I was trying to like white knuckle through. I needed something, and the dog was on antidepressants. I was on antidepressants. It was just, we're completely stressed out, and the dog was a lot of work too. And then my sister was supposed to watch her, and all my sister did was write things on my dry erase board that I should be doing, and let the dog shit downstairs. Like, and I had to clean. Like, I just people in my life making more stress for me, and I'm calling her out about it. I'm like, I just need a break, and it's just, yeah, yeah. And it was a little bit after that that I had, maybe it was a little bit before that. It's hard to remember, but this was in November. But sometime when I got out of the psych ward, I had my dad said, anything you need, just come over if you need a break or anything. And I took him up on it one day, and within 15 minutes, he's looking at his phone. I'm sitting on his couch, drove an hour to go see him, and just kind of to be around somebody. And because I'm just alone in my house with my mind and my pain. And within 15 minutes, he says he got a text from his wife, who just dipped out of the house, and she said she's going to kill herself if I don't leave. And so I left, and had no intention of ever talking to him again. And then saw him on Thanksgiving, and my sister and him proceeded to like berate me about my dog pooping in her house and how I should clean it up. When I said I was going to clean it up, she said she had it, and then still like they wouldn't leave it alone, and I just, they're like attacking me, and I had a panic attack and tried to leave, and then ended up talking with my dad or whatever with her, and I said, I can't talk to him. If you want to talk, like, he will never listen to me. And sure enough, he like starts like talking down to me, and I haven't talked to him since. We'll never talk to him again. Um, yeah. But yeah. Since then, I went to a rehab for like a month in Phoenix, and it helped a little bit. But when I came back, I still had the same problems. There's 2 times in between that and going to the rehab, I was suicidal and got hospitalized. 4 days before the going to rehab, I was hospitalized for, I got the same headaches from the Lexapro. And just needed a break. Talking about this is kind of triggering. So hopefully this is, this is, there's too much fat in this, but yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what my life's gonna be. I'm just trying to stay busy now, and was off the Adderall for 5 months, and finally got my mind back together, and it's still very lonely, but kind of deduced the relationship and understand what exactly happened and how I was discarded, and how that was essentially a narcissistic relationship. And I learned a lot, and having to disown my own family, you know, I'm never talking to them ever again. I realized that all they've done my entire life is hurt me and only cared about themselves. And when I needed them the most, they weren't there. And I hung on by this much. Luckily, my stepdad's been there for me, who's both of his sons killed themselves inside of a year because of their narcissistic mother. And he obviously doesn't understand the trauma bond, doesn't understand his type, because my mom is exactly the same person. And he doesn't want to look at it. But it's true. And so now I'm just here forced to be alone and just I yeah, I learned a lot. I had to sit in my own shit, understand that was this codependency I've had my entire life, and now I'm actually alone. I as much as I try to find somebody, it's just I woke up to a new world. It is dark. The delusions of people, and the, the manipulation, and the dating market's screwed. So I'm forced to just do me, and I've been trying to do these psychological videos, trying to inspire people and trying to help shed some light on certain narcissistic behavior, trauma bond. I learned a lot, and so that's what I've been doing. I've been trying to just better myself and stay busy, and constantly struggle with thinking that Bethany was the best thing that ever happened to me, and that I fucked that up. And on the other hand, understanding that it was an inevitability, that just like my family, when they weren't there for me when I needed them the most, neither was she. And that's not love. That's dark. And that when you do everything for someone and they can't help you, they can't treat you with any dignity. I realized she looked at me as I made her feel worse about herself. She couldn't handle being a perpetrator. She couldn't. She had to get everyone on her side. She set the groundwork for my reputation destruction. I don't know what she said, but that's my story, and that's my side of it. And I'm really a big part of the reason I'm making this is just to be like, I literally lost everything. I I lost everything, and if I don't exist, I want this to be my side. I won't be a martyr at my funeral, and I'm sorry. I won't let people be the. Yeah, I won't let people use me as a and play the victim at my own funeral. And use, play victim and sorry for your loss. No, you get more attention that I'm dead, and I guarantee everyone in my family is like that. Because if you cared, you'd care at some point, not pretend to care after the fact. And yeah, I just made this video too. It's bumming me out, as I said I'm not a victim, but I don't know. I don't know how else to look at it. I'm doing better, but at the end of the day, it's like it's just so dark. Like I feel for her. I go, that's gonna be something you do to everyone the rest of your life. You're a user. And the day I did her taxes, she ghosted me. That was the last thing she needed. She waited until she pretended there's something possible for us. There is something, some kind of something, a chance, as I'm struggling with everything, and string me along even after the rehab, even after all the suicide attempts, after all of it, which I thought was just, I'm in crisis mode. She's there to help, which I believe to an extent is true, but you don't just pick the perfect time to not talk to somebody. Like, that's too convenient. I did your taxes and now nothing. And it's sick. Do your taxes. I did everything for you, even after you continually hurt me. And now my reputation's been destroyed. I like to think I don't care about that, but I've been trying to get bar gigs. I can only assume that I've been blackballed in certain ways. I don't feel like people look at me the same way. It might be one part that, I was. It's sick because I think people have some envy and of what they don't realize that my life's over. It's been destroyed. It was. I I'm just. I don't know. I should have made this video. I can't talk about this ever again. I hope this is just the weather that's making me feel like this. It's just so dark. It's so dark talking about this. I just want a family. And now there's no women. There's no. Even that talking about this, like, all I want is to get back with her. And it's sick because you can't. How do you let someone treat you like that and want them? It's like, that's the sickness of like codependency, the sickness of like, oh, the good times were good, but like at the end of the day, that's like narcissistic abuse. That's like psychopathy. That's like, there's no empathy. So, yep. Just end of the video here. I don't know. That was like an hour. A big part of the reason I want to make this video is because I didn't have. I mean, I'm in a rehab, and I give 30 minutes, like my life story and stuff like that, and I just rush through it. I'm not very good at expressing my needs or any of this stuff, and I've never been able to defend myself. I've never been, but part of me is like, I at least got to try and make this video to be like, I have to defend myself. Like, I have to have respect for myself. I have to not just let people walk on me. And to me, that's like my MO my whole life. The more you walk on me, like, females my entire life have abused me physically and emotionally and gaslit, and my sister beat the shit out of me my whole life, and she continues to abuse me. I had to finally cut her out a couple weeks ago. Just pretend she cares and wants to burn my house down. And she saw me not react, and she's like, "Uh oh, he sees me now. He understands. Yeah, I understand that reactive abuse. Yeah, I finally got it. Yep, you're not gonna get any emotion out of me, even though I'm suicidal and you want to burn my house down." Oh, there's smoke. Oh, I should open up a window. Didn't know what to do. And so, yeah, I guess the message here is now I see a lot of this kind of shit permeated in society now. there's unbelievable amounts of gaslighting and manipulation right now in the dating market and people around my age, and it's not going to end well. Like I'd rather be all alone talking to this fucking camera than even talking to any human being. They're all messed up, entitled and narcissistic and gaslighting and manipulative, and it's just a big game. There's no love out there. It's a hard world to live in right now. Like, and I feel so guilty about that too. There's a part of me that, we were living the high life. This is the most fun I ever. The good part was the most fun I ever had in my life, and it just, it's that downward spiral. It's that burnout. It just, it couldn't have been any worse. And it's gonna happen to you if you don't wake up and act real like a person, act like a good person, and be an actual caring individual. It's pathologized our whole freaking society. We're so selfish. That's all. I gotta stop talking. I just bumming myself out, but there, yeah, 36 minutes on top of the already whatever 30 minutes, but it's not gonna be very entertaining. But I'm very tired. I need to eat something. But yeah, that's that. I uh, I acknowledge my part in it. I let I didn't have boundaries early on, and I wasn't able to defend myself, and I wasn't able to. I pick these people. I try and save them. I try and help them, and I get I get left behind, and I'm just focused on me now. I'm trying to help other people and I'm trying to just be honest about stuff because there's very little honesty and realness anymore, and I got nothing to lose anymore. I'm trying to I'm trying to just be myself and be a good person and help people and spread awareness about this kind of shit. Like, yeah. Anyway, talk to you later. Take care of yourself.